Hey, how you doing? Okay, I'll be right back. I'll put it on for you to watch a game while I'm gone, just for a sec. We'll watch this real quick and then we'll get on to it. It should be a draw. It should still be a draw. Yeah. This is a draw. He pulled a draw out. Black did. Wow. He actually lost. Okay. That's interesting. Now we're going to get on to ours. Okay. Okay. Oops, I don't think I erased that. Okay, Queen's Gambit. This is the Queen's. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I think I did this one. I'm gonna do, let me make sure. We'll have to check this out. Okay, let me see here if this is it. I can know for sure if it is. It was surprised. It is surprising to see Pillsbury, who was famous for his experienced knowledge in the opening, uh, impress basically playing entrapping his bishop his queen bishop by going e6. He was shocked about that. When he trapped this in, that's what I mean. Bishop to queen, bishop to d6. Pawn f4. Hold on, wait a second. Did I miss something here? Did I? I think I did. Let me see here. So if not a bit, not. Hold on, let me make sure I got this right. Do. Oops, wrong. I knew I had an issue there. It was black who played this. There we go. There we go. Now we're on the right track. He's playing the Stonewall type of setup here. Okay. Knight to knight 5 coming in. So queen to D or A5 with a pin. Queen so you're thinking that white should castle and then play knight d2? I think he believed his threat. He missed the tactic of bishop takes knight. D takes. Queen h5. And then knight takes. Pawn takes. Queen takes. He missed this tactic for some reason. I have no idea why. Oops, sorry. I think I moved the queen to the wrong spot. I think. Let me see. Did I? That's weird. It says queen, rook 5. That would be here, though. Come on, why is the mouse not working? Uh-oh. Hold on. My batteries again. There we go. Let's see if now this works. There we go. It's the only move I could play is here, but in the English, it's actually here that they're wanting it. Oh, it would be here. Sorry, A5 right here. That's right. Ah, drat. There we go. Now queen here to attack. That makes more sense. Knight to D7 castles. Bishop D6. Pawn B4. Pawn F4. Yeah. He didn't play it though. I had the queen in the wrong spot. He played pawn. Marshall played G5 exclaim. Actually, an interesting move. So, a pawn sacrifice characterizes of many systems, but black gains a lasting initiative with G5 push. The file, even if his opponent was to take it, he still has a rook that can come right on. So knight to here. He played rook. Bishop takes knight, and the bishop pawn takes. Knight takes G5, and then knight comes into F6 with the idea of dropping in and crushing down on H2 with mate. Queen to King 2, trying to trade off White's not gonna have that. I mean, Black's not gonna allow that. That'd be silly. We have to push up to attack this bishop. So now, I don't know if it was a wise idea for Pillsbury to actually shut down the queen side, though. So bishop to C7 too. This still continues the threat of the attack along H the B8 to H2 diagonal. King to H1. This gets out of the pin so that he can move his knight and not have to worry about a rook coming over with a hammer and then potentially coming in here too. So, you know, yeah. One and Knight to h4. Kaboom. Also, bam. And then even sometimes you can come in via and boom there as well. Bishop to d. He's trying to a Grandmaster Stedman Williams reroute of the bishop. It's called the long journey. That's what I call it. But it's actually a question mark mistake here. This is an exclam move. Because all the pieces are now, a lot of the pieces are on the king side, so he's going to try to launch a really nice bishop after pawn a5. Bishop a6 would skewer the rook to the queen. Pawn takes, knight pawn takes, and this is an interesting tactic here. You gotta love it. Because if you take here, you get mate, so he actually has to slide there. Then you play bishop takes rook, you actually pick up a rook there. It's forcing. Rook takes bishop. Rook to knight 1. Now that rook was to come in. Boom. And cause a little bit of chaos down that rank. Bishop to c. Oops, I have to promote. Bishop c1. Bishop to a5 is now. You see now there's nothing guarding this knight, so he noticed a weak point. He took advantage of it with a great attack there. Knight to d1, and look at all of Pillsbury's pieces are on the back rank, almost all of them. King to d7 to hook up the rooks. Now Marshall's in the open in the middle game. Yeah. Rook to knight 1. To hold on to this pawn so the bishop can move. Queen to h5. Queen to c2. And then rook, knight. Here, he wants to now double up and then come crashing down on it. Or actually double up here and then play queen takes, and after pawn takes, boom is mate. Kaboom. setting up for a forcing knockout. Knight 2. There it comes. We're one move away. But we have to now, this causes a little bit of panic here. Queen D1. Exchanging the queen's only infatuating blacks, but white is limited to the defense, and he must always be on guard for the rook takes pawn right now, at the right moment. Queen takes, knight takes. Rook to knight. Now he's trying to get in and see if he can't get in here. This holds everything. Now that's a target. And now this is a target. And now this could actually be played as well. So rook to knight 2. Oops. That's not the move. This right here is the move. And then this is the move to guard the bishop. And then rook to knight 1 with the idea to coming over and either coming here with this rook. Might be an idea. Bishop brilliant move. Beautiful move. This is beauty, beauty, beauty. Because you're threatening here, and if he takes here, you take here. Now this is under fire, and then this is a potential. Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. Thus the white bishop comes to its an end. What he's trying to say is it does win and create a passed pawn though. So bishop takes bishop, rook takes knight, and if the bishop were to take as well, what would happen is this is a bad bishop versus a good knight. This is another interesting move here. Rook takes rook. It's like, whoa, hello, boom, pow. I think that was a beautiful move. I really liked that move. Knight takes pawn check. King b2. Knight back check. King to knight 2. Rook to queen 2. That'll pick up another pawn. King to knight and knight 1. Or you could just push. Check. Rook takes and then knight takes. So he's up a whole piece. Here are the remaining moves that he actually played. What is it? Did I miss something? So 45 was. Let me go back and make sure that I got this right. So I took back T5, that's right. There. Ah. There we go. Rotate spawn. And oops, not that one. takes pawns, so we grab another pawn. Oops, not that. Ah, wrong side. Dasty's gonna try playing here, and then come and grab that if he can. B6 check. And white resigned. This game was widely praised by the critics, but I regard his move on move 42 as the move that actually won the game here. E2 is actually the move that won the game. He said it's the showstopper. Okay. Let's do it to it. And are you ready for puzzles? That's right. He fulfilled, yeah. Oh, not a problem. Put him on. Post him in and we'll go over him. We'll do it on alliedchess.org. Okay. Gotta give it a second. Who's to move? White or black? White, okay. Let's see, what's the most forcing continuation? Thinking that it's potentially C7. Because if C7 knight there, probably rook takes A. Rook takes A7's the most forcing line. After he moves here, then you queen. Kaboom. Knight intercepts, then you have bishop. When he comes there, you could decide. Actually, more likely he's going to come here. So yeah, now we gotta figure. Oh boy, let me see here. I don't think there's anything else to win but that. I like the forcing puzzles. So black to play, okay. This one is actually bishop bishop c5 is a killer move here, and if he plays rook takes c2, then you have the block rook c4 check. If he plays here, then you can actually play you can attack via there. So maybe Oh, hey, how you doing? Let's see. Bishop there. Here. Maybe bishop b6. And then if he comes back, or if he just moves his king, then we don't have anything. He might even be able to check, so that's, I don't know if that's good. Excuse me. Oh, I think I found it. Rook c4. Rook c4 is strong. If b takes c4, then b3 is, I think, the move that we're looking for. That's a move. The most forcing move. And I don't think there's anything. How do you progress? Well, if, let's say, the king moves, right? You would probably have to play bishop to a3 here, because you'd have to get out of a pin. And then if he comes up here, you can actually at this point play b2, and if he tries coming over here on a1, you can actually play b2 again, because now you're attacking. And once the pawns get to the second like this, they're unstoppable. I don't know if there is a way to save this. No, that still loses. I think it's over at this point. When we get our bishop up here, I think it's done. I really don't see any thing that they can do. So probably best would be to actually give back and then play for that there. So I think I'm a little too hasty on pushing the pawn. I'm gonna go with bishop c5. I think bishop c5 is actually a better move here, because now the rook is pinned. So because the other way loses for black. Now if he moves his king, we now can actually take at this point. And then when king takes, now we have b3. And then when he tries to stop it, now we have b2. And now this wins. And if he takes, we get a queen. But beforehand, it didn't actually work when we pushed, because he can actually save the game via playing rook takes d2. And even if we tried to throw a check in there, he just moves, and if we take, he has rook c1, and that saves that actually wins for white now. But being patient. Yeah. C5 is actually it's the move that wins. It goes back to your endgame theory of the theory of two weaknesses. When the king comes up and we take, and then we come here, white can't handle not theory, sorry, the principles of two weakness. I always do theory, it's principles. White can't handle these two weaknesses right here. Because one of them's gonna queen, and when it does, he's gonna have to take, and then he's gonna lose. So that goes to the principle of two weaknesses right there. It's endgame principles to perfection. Well, I've been working on a book called Forcing Moves. Hey, you know what? I'm glad you enjoy doing puzzles. That's what it's about, improving. So a really good book. It's a little difficult, but it's called Forcing Chess Moves. Forcing Chess Moves. And the gentleman who does it, I've been learning a lot on looking for the most forcing moves. There's really there's three inside of forcing moves. There's three moves, three things to look for in a position. Checks, checkmates is one. He combines. Captures is two, and then pieces that are on pre is three. So he combines check and checkmate in one. Captures is the second thing you look for, and if there's a piece on pre, can you make a plan based on that? I tried to make it four, but three's perfect. It's so you can't go wrong with that. Oh, it means hold on, come on. Pieces you could take. I don't think I have that right. I think that's right. Yeah, a piece that can be taken. A piece. It actually means a piece that can be taken, are like what Chess 360 said is a piece that's hanging, and you can make you can actually make a plan based around a piece that's hanging. Like I'll show you an idea. Let me pull up. I'll just set up a quick little one. Then I'll just set up one that I'm making. So come on. Sometimes my internet's slow. It's a pain in the drain. Come on. Gotta bear with me on this. Okay, good. I'll just set up a quick one here. Let me see. Come on. I'll have it be white. Come on. Work with me. I think the Lord's I think the Lord is teaching me patience by my computer and the internet. Yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, this is interesting. I'll set up a back rank mate kind of idea. Let me see here. Trying to see if I can't No, I don't want to do a bishop. I'll do that. Okay, I'll have a king here. Let me see here. How could I do this? Ah, perfect. That is perfect. This does work. Oops, not white, not black, but white. Okay, and then I'll have white be over here. This is just a oops, wrong one. Sorry, I have the queen in the wrong spot. 1 second. Drat. Nope, the queen's right. Okay, silly me. I need it to move. Hold on. Okay. First of all, you check the king. He moves in here. I'm on. And now this piece is on pre. This piece cannot be protected anymore, and then you can take it, and you get checkmate. That's kind of the most standard type of position that this piece, because the king's defending it. Now when you check and the king moves, you can set up checkmate. And that's kind of just that's a piece on pre, and making an idea based around a piece on pre. That it's the bishop, and it led to mate. Okay, now we'll get on to some of our puzzles. I tried to think of the most standard piece on pre, and usually pieces on pre lead to like forks, checkmate threats, losses of material. There's tons of different ways of setting up things like that. But I thought of one that my teacher taught me, and that kind of was one that he taught me, and so I thought, you know what, I want to keep it as standard as I can. Alright, here we go. So it's white to mate and move in 2. Yep. Yeah, this one's a pretty interesting one. I'll see if you can solve this one. This one's kind of a similar kind of idea, but it's you who's putting a piece on pre. You're actually putting a piece on pre intentionally. So how can you do that? Yeah, exactly. This puts a piece. You actually intentionally put a piece on pre to draw the piece away, to deflect it, and then you end up turning it into a queen and winning. So that was a perfect example. I could have used that as an idea of a piece on pre. This one right here. Who'd have thunk we'd have one that's a good for instruction on that? But I'm not surprised. The Lord works in mysterious ways to teach us stuff. So that's how He works. He loves to surprise us about stuff too. We're surprised, but He's never surprised. So let's see here. Rook there, rook here. Okay, king, queen. I think I need a bishop and a knight. Bishop and 1 knight. There we go. That should do it. Well, I try to. When I have time after my work and school and everything. So. Let's see, 2. That's 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, and then 4. Perfect. Wow, you already solved it? Yikes. Yeah, before I even got it out. Nice job. Well. Let's see here. Let's see here. We got it. All right. Let's see here. So rotates. Oh, gotcha. Then there. Okay. So rotates. Queen. Queen check. And then if he just moves, then you have queen check. Oops, sorry. You're right. That's checkmate. Good job there. So there, you found both of them. And then you found that one. Yep. Nice work. Let's see here. I got these. And then bishop king. Let's see here. I want to make sure I got this 2, 3. Okay, perfect. Okay, dokie. Yeah, you got it. Boom. Well, you're on 100%. I know. Record-breaking time too. Oh, 10,000 kicks? Yeah. There we go. The Bruce Lee. The 10,000, yeah, he practiced 10,000 kicks, one kick 10,000 times instead of 10,000 individual kicks. We're practicing our tactics so that we'll be rock solid. When it's time, Bruce Lee would be happy with our progress. So the Lord would too, as well. Let me see here. Yeah, let me see. There, and there. I think we got this. So I gotta extend this board, make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. Let's see here. So rook check, bishop takes. Nice. And then checkmate. That works. Yep. I think that's the only. Sometimes he'll have a way of doing like 2 different mates, sometimes 3, but some of them are just 1 move mates. Clear the board. Clear the deck. Yeah, I can't wait to do some more principles of 2 weaknesses. That's going to be a fun one. I learned so much from, they call it cat and mouse, but I've learned so much patience from watching Banco, with just slowly set up the positions and then basically finish off his opponents. You have to slowly build up your advantage, and then when it's time to cash in, like Joel Benjamin says, cashing in on the chessboard or liquidating down on the chessboard. It's beautiful when you can do that. And that's why we study endgames, so that we can improve and see what most players won't. That's why chess crunchers study. They study to show themselves approved on to the chessboard and the Lord. Always. Let me see there. Oops, I've got to move a king. Ah, perfect. Let's see. Let's see. So knight b5. C takes. Oh, wow, you got checkmate there. That was fast. You get it before I even before I'm able to put him on the board. That's fast. Keep up the good work. You'll improve for sure. Oh, most definitely. You're always welcome to, even if you have a game you want to bring. We can go over the game before we do puzzles. I'll even go over the game before the Marshall game that we go over. I'll even do that. That'd be much appreciated if you did, because then you get to share with the Chess Cruncher community the knowledge that you get to share knowledge with the Chess Cruncher community, and then they get to improve, and that's what it's all about. That's what chess should be all about, helping others improve, and then you improve right alongside with that. See, 4, 2, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Oops, I gotta put a king. There we go. Let's see here. Wow. Congratulations on that. Yeah. Yeah, this is the only way. I was looking at that move. Queen has to take at this point, and then you take there and its mate. Yeah. That's the only checkmating ID, I think. Let me see. Is there any other one? No, there's nothing that. There's this. But that is a mate in like 5 though. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a mate 4. It's not. That's really a mate 2. Okay, dokie. I'll be praying for you that you do well, okay? In your division, who you face against. So, because I know how tough it is when you're facing the masters and everything. You just have to kind of almost just outlast them, out positionally play them, and then you'll be able to hold. You'll hold. You just don't. Whatever you do, don't rush. See, they wait for players to rush, and then they'll set up and don't let them get a fortress like what Jeremy Stillman says. They love getting fortresses to save the game. So just be ready for all that. I call it the shenanigans that get thrown at the board when you're facing masters. That was a phrase my grandpa told me about. So, what you do is if you could stand your ground, even Ginger GM talks about it. Yeah, Ginger GM. I also learned a little bit of that from him too, as he said that he, with age, our Grandmaster Sam Williams, with age, he's figured out that a lot of his lower level opponents overextend in Grandmasters and NMs and all those. Wait till their opponents overextend. So you kind of have to cat and mouse, maybe even in the middle game a little bit. Just don't. I've played a game where I had to almost just make a pawn move, just slow maneuvering my king, and it ended up that it was a draw. My cat. What happened was somehow our clocks got kind of. It didn't work. One of the clocks didn't work, and so rather than the whatever happened, we just agreed to a draw on it. But I was actually winning. So, but you know what? I'd rather have a draw than have to redo the game again. It was a pretty interesting game. It was all based on I call it boa constricting, slowly taking the air out of the opponent. Eventually, Bobby Fischer, I believe, did that on Game 6 against Boris Spassky. Yeah, Bobby Fischer did that against Boris Spassky. It was Game 6, and Boris didn't have any moves. It was the only time a Grandmaster actually stood up and clapped for another Grandmaster at a world title of all things, world championship of all things. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, rook e8, rook takes. Yeah, that would be mate. Kind of looking at that. Kaboom. Yep, good. Good, good, good. Yeah. Just whatever you do, don't panic. That's the one thing I guess I wanted to share with you. Even if you're down, you may be a knight for a rook. Don't panic. Just go into the imbalance of Jeremy Silman. And I've actually one time saved a game that I was down. I had a knight and my opponent had a rook, and I was able to save a game. She didn't know actually what to do with the advantage, and so we agreed to a draw. It went into an end game, and the position was so close. The rook didn't really have any play, and in theory, we were both low in time. So in theory, I probably could have, if I would have pushed, I probably could have won. But I figured why risk it. I later put it into the computer. It was an equal position, so it was a wise decision to accept the draw. There was a couple potential winning lines, but you would have had to play precisely on that. Let me see here. All right, so we're good. There we go. Okay. White to mate in 2, so there's a mate in 2 here somewhere. I think that's the mate in 2, yeah. There's this mate in 2. If you take it, you get mate in 2, and then if you, oops, come on. If check here, if he moves, then you play queen takes mate 2. Yep, you got both of them. Great job. Okay. Oops. And then a knight, bishop. Let me see here. Just gotta make sure I have that right. Yep. Yeah. Oops, I'm missing a rook for black. Yep. There's the first one. There's the second one. Alrighty. Yeah, that's the only move that wins. Because the other ones, if you don't do something like that, it's not going to work. Because if you tried, doing a check like this, he actually could take. One more, and we're going to be doing the principles of two weaknesses. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is the last one. And then we're going to do the principles of two weaknesses. I'm going to erase this. Okay, let's see here. I got it. Do you see it? Do you see the move? I got it. This is a really interesting one. Tell me if you need any help. If you need a hint, just tell me. check, that's right. Boom. Alright. Yeah, let's do it to it. Let's get us on to our this is Alekhine as white, and Shamwish as black. Alekhine as white and Sam Twish as black, and it's Baden at 1925. I have to get the queen and the bishop. White to move here. This is what it says. White has an extra passed b pawn but doesn't wish to push it right away. Since since that would expose his king, instead he patiently plays to create a second weakness in black's camp. Would you like to kind of take a chance at choosing which move Alekhine would played? Would you like to take a chance at what Alekhine played? I don't want to say I don't like saying guessing, but would you like to take a just a chance? I guess. I guess that's the best word I could think of. What do you think White played? White's Alekhine. He's trying to create his second weakness. He's trying to create a second weakness. I'll give you a second to consider an idea. I'll be right back. Remember, you don't want to make any weaknesses. The move that we were looking for is actually queen to d4. I know this sounds kind of like what? This sounds ludicrous. Like he can actually play e1. Yeah, but if you notice, he leaves behind d7. So even if he played he could potentially play something like this, and then doesn't really have any more checks. And so you have to always be on the lookout for those type of checking ideas. I know it's kind of odd. It's kind of like, huh? What are you doing? You know, like what is all that? Yeah, I know. You have to remember it's Alekhine. Alekhine by this and his following moves, white selects the correct winning plan, which is to advance the king pawn, the b pawn. I mean, advance the passed pawn, which is the b pawn, must be advanced only later when the exchange of queens exchange the dangerous queens, and to prevent perpetual check will be eliminated at that point. Surprisingly, Queen e7 was actually played here. That other move doesn't really do anything. The check doesn't really do anything because it's no more perpetual now. And then if you played knight in here, you do have an idea of a potential checking setup. So bishop d3, exclam. Uh-oh, I need to make this into a study drat. Hold on. Yeah, we got to be always on our, as I like to say, tippy toes as chess players when we put pieces on certain squares. G4. King F2 was F7 was actually played. If you're wondering about takes, this is actually a complete losing move. It loses a piece on the spot with Queen to D7, and the knight hangs, so he can't really do anything. Yeah. H4. We're trying to get our pawn rolling. H5. G takes H. G takes H. A second weakness has been created. Hoorah! The second weakness is kaboom. H7. Now we can start ganging up on H7 and going for a KO there. Bishop E4. We're like, don't think so. No enter. White would have exchanged queens with queen to E4, but decided only to do so when the H7 pawn was actually fixed, thus forcing the black king to stay on the king side and sit and babysit the H6 H7 square. Note that white wouldn't fall for this move here because I think it's perpetual at this point. With perpetual, so So that's why he played bishop e4. Queen to b5, and then h6. Now this pawn is fixed. He's got to stay in contact with his knight. He played actually queen b3. There is a line that if he tries checking, king c2, king e there, king c, king e1, king d3. You gotta be careful of forks that win the queen. Queen a5. And then we just pick up the pawn, and then b5 check, queen b4, d5 check, king c2, and queen c6 check, and then queen c3. And black is done since a4 is killed by a4 is toasted by this check here. So b3. Okay. This is I'm giving this over to you, my chess cruncher friends. What move is an exclam for white here? I'm going to give you a second to take a look at this. White to move, exclam. You got it, Bish. This is actually a exclam move. Congratulations on finding that. That's right. And then queen to d3, and how do you stop? He has to trade. Only now is white ready to force the trade of queens. Only now. What's the difference between the position when the queen was on c6? Remember back here? This one? And the one that we're looking at right now? He says it's this. When queen b4 would have forced the exchange, yes, in the early position, black's h-pawn could have advanced to safety on h6, and therefore been on the opposite color of our bishop. But and allowed the black king to rush over to the queen side and stop our pawn, our B pawn. Now that the h6 is permanently a permanent target, black's king is stuck defending that pawn. The king is stuck guarding guard duty. He calls it in Siberia, basically out. If you want to say it in the Arctic, basically the king's out in Antarctica guarding an outpost. That's basically a. If you want to think about this, he doesn't want to be out in the snowy lands out here. This is out in like the snowy lands. This is the warm spots, the nice hot areas. You know, he wants to be over here. He wants to be in this nice toasty zone. But he can't be in this. If he leaves, he'll leave a vital resource, which is his h7 square, and then white will have b6, and he'll be able to out maneuver his opponent. So the king's on that in basically an Antarctica guarding outpost. By playing bishop, and that also wins. But why blacks is black to go mockers with checks when he can trade queens and win without any bother. So he says, why would white, trade? Why would white go around checking when he can just trade queens and win? So queen takes, and then bishop takes. White has acquired the exchange of queens, and in the most favorable circumstances, the black king is tied down to defense of the h7 pawn, and the knight is quite unable to cope with the passed b pawn supported by the king and bishop. That's bishops when pawns are on two sides of the board. Bishops dominate. Always remember, always remember, if you have pawns over here and pawns over here, bishops dominate. But if pawns are on one side of the board, knights dominate bishops. Just always keep that in mind. If you have a knight, you want to trade off the pawns on one side and keep them compacted on the other side, and then your knight will out maneuver your opponent's bishop, because bishops are only good when it's on both sides of the board. Knights love close combat. They're your gladiatorial warriors. So knight to c8. And then bishop takes, and he actually resigned here. They were talking that if the king went to g8 here, b4, when knight d5, bishop c4 picks up via the pin. If knight c8, b5, and then king b2, king b3, king b4, and then king to c5, and the pawn goes up the board. He said at this point here, and then I'm going to probably have to call it, because I don't want to get into a there's a bigger theory of two weaknesses, and then yeah, the very last one's a 22 move one. This was only 12, so, and he's got a lot of notation with it, so I don't want to rush it because it's going to be so great of a learning tool. Yeah. And amazing that a second weakness in the opponent's position can do, isn't it? It is amazing what a second weakness in your opponent's position can do. Oh, sorry. Isn't it? That's what he says with a question mark. Our last example is a very smooth victory by the fifth world champion. We can suspect a bit of cat and mouse here, and a creative in more than one way to create new weaknesses. Uh, the more the merrier. That's basically what it is. So we'll have to save that for tomorrow. And the players are, I think, let me see. Hold on. These are the two. Ah, my internet's causing me a little bit of a headache there. Thank you for your patience. That's the. Those are the two players. And so, do you have any questions before I log off? Okay. I wanted to thank you, Chess 360, for bringing those two puzzles. That was great. And you're all more than welcome to bring like puzzles or games that you want to go over. We'll go over them and learn from them and help improve each other getting better. That's the whole point about the chess community and Chess Cruncher, is that we try to lift each other up, always through chess and the Lord. That we that's the whole thing about improving in chess, is you can help others as you improve as well. So, but what we have to remember, like what we talked about, is that Bruce Lee didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks. He feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times, and that was the thing. Like when we practice our end games, and we truly focus down and like what we're doing and working on them, it's like practicing one kick 10 10,000 times. Because you're going to be able to, when you sit down over the board and you face an NM, IM, FM, or just a candidate master, you'll be able to know what to do for an end game. You'll be able to have a plan to go down a flow of a train of thought or a flow. But every long journey, like what Grandmaster Yasser Seramwat says, every long journey begins with one small step. So we have to remember also what we think about is important. What you think about is important. If you bring the Lord Jesus in with you, and He's the reason and the Holy Spirit always, then He'll teach you all things. He promised that. And His Word's good, but guess what? You have to do your part too. What that means is you got to put your time in, you got to study, you got to make sure that you show yourself to be approved. It's not like merry-go-round where it goes around and around and around and around. You need to it's like a adventure trail. You get to experience new things, and He's your guide. And he's the best friend you'll ever have, trust me. When things I always remember the phrase, the sad thing is many a chess players, they won a minute, they lose, and when you lose alone, but He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's always there. He's not gonna in your bad times drop you, and in your good times praise you. He's gonna be there through thick and thin to the very end. And it's been a long journey to get where I am, but guess what? You know what? The Lord Jesus has always been there, and He allowed me, with His mercy, to actually have a grace to have Chess Cruncher, and then have you, my chess friends, be, as they say, a reciprocate or a third-party beneficiary, from what I've been studying, of the information that a grandmaster teacher taught me and my experience through chess. And so I always think about, if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right. And you know what? You got to treasure your victories, learn from your losses, and remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you as a chess player and a person in whatever field you're in, my friends. Always remember to bring your Grandmaster glasses. And it's very vital to bring those forcing Grandmaster glasses to the chess, to the OTB over the board games. Knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do. And Bruce Lee said that human potential is limitless. The Lord has made us marvelously, and our potential is vast. If we just have patience, we have fun while you're studying, man, you do your studies, trust me, it will pay off. But you have to do your part, which is your studies. And let me see, I think that's about it. Oh, one more. We have our chess crutcherism. Don't give up. Get knuckle down and get back up. And when most of your friends are playing or doing whatever, and you're studying, you're a chess crutcher. A chess crutcher hangs up their coat. They hang up their hat. They sit down and study when most won't. A chess cruncher does. And that makes all the difference. Trust me, it does. When you are facing high-level opponents that are doing the same thing, it's those who come to the board with more information that's going to be the ones that are going to win. And I know, because you study when most don't, that you'll be the ones to come out victorious, either with a draw or a win. Even if you lost, but you gave it your best, and you take it home and you learn from it, remember, you're not a loser. You're a winner either way, because you're a chess crutcher. You'll take that home, you'll find out where you went awry, and then you'll fix it and come back even stronger. That's what a chess crutcher does. They don't give up. And I'll leave you with that. And as Wesley So says for the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chest Crutcher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, Lord willing, and we'll keep pushing forward, and we'll go over our last two, the principles of two weaknesses. And if you have a game, my friends, that you want to bring next time, more than willing, post it in, paste it in on the chat. We'll go over it and we'll improve and get better. Great job, Team Chest Crutcher. Hoorah, be blessed, and always, always honor the Lord and keep striving to become a better chess player and having fun. 2 thumbs up. Hoorah, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.